The first shot tore through the silence like a blade, echoing across the dimly lit military infirmary. Soldiers froze in place. A metal tray crashed to the floor, and in the center of it all stood Nurse Elara Trent. Her breath trembling as Commander Rourke, a man feared more than respected, raised his sidearm again. No one expected things to escalate this far. No one expected a commander to threaten the very woman who had once saved his life, and certainly, no one expected what happened next. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. Rourke's hand shook, though he pretended otherwise, masking fear with fury. The second and third rounds slammed into the wall behind her, sending shards of plaster raining down her shoulders. Elara didn't blink. She stood rooted in place, not because she was fearless, but because she understood something no one else did, a truth she had been carrying for months, waiting for this exact moment, hoping it would never come. The room filled with whispers. Some soldiers backed away, others stepped forward, torn between instinct and obedience. Elara felt every pair of eyes on her, but it was Rourke's wild, haunted stare that held her spirit hostage. He was unraveling, thread by thread, in front of his own men, and she knew the reason, a secret he'd blamed her for, even though she had only tried to protect him. There had been rumors for weeks. Rourke's temper, his paranoia, his refusal to sleep, the way he jumped at shadows, yet none of them knew what she had witnessed during the last mission, when he froze under pressure, endangering his entire unit. She had been the one who pulled him out, dragging him through dust and gunfire, while his legs gave out beneath him. But instead of gratitude, shame festered inside him, shame that now turned violent. He stepped closer, muzzle trembling inches from her chest. The crowd held its breath. Some thought she'd beg, others thought she'd faint, but Elara simply whispered, "I won't run." Those three quiet words pierced deeper than the bullets ever could. She remembered the nights when Rourke confided in her, admitting the nightmares he could never outpace. She remembered how she promised to help him heal, a promise he now believed was a threat. And as he inched forward, sweat beading across his brow, she saw the breaking point in his eyes, the moral line, cracking. Several soldiers exchanged uneasy glances. One whispered, "Sir, this isn't right." Another muttered, "She saved us, all of us." The room shifted, not with movement, but with courage slowly waking. Then came the moment no one expected. Rourke's arm buckled. The gun slipped from his grasp. His knees hit the floor, hard, not from restraint, not from force, but from something far heavier, the weight of his own conscience collapsing under him. Elara knelt down, not in fear, but in compassion. Her voice trembled, but her hands didn't. "You're not the monster you think you are," she said softly, "but you will be if you keep going." The soldiers watched in stunned silence. The arrogance that once defined him shattered into something raw and painfully human. Rourke covered his face, shoulders shaking, as the reality of what he nearly did settled like cold ash across the room. A moral question hung heavy in the air. Should they punish him? Should they forgive him? Should a man be judged by his lowest moment, or by the choices he makes after? The answer revealed itself as Lieutenant Grady stepped forward, placing a steady hand on Elara's shoulder, before turning to the others. "No more fear," he said, "not in this unit." And like a tide returning to shore, the room found its breath again. Rourke was escorted out, not in chains, but in humility, ready at last to seek the help he had denied. Elara watched him go, not with anger, but with hope, because she believed people could break and still be rebuilt. In the days that followed, soldiers spoke of her courage in hushed admiration. The nurse who stood unshaken before 3 bullets, the woman who held compassion even for the man who nearly destroyed her, and somehow, her quiet strength bound them together in a way commands never could. Because kindness doesn't vanish, it waits, and it finds its way back. And in the place where bullets once struck the wall, morning light now poured through a repaired window, soft and warm, reminding everyone how quickly darkness can be replaced. If this story moved you, share your thoughts below, and make sure to subscribe for more powerful stories that remind us what strength and compassion truly look like. New stories every day. Don't miss the next one.